You try to navigate this.
Navigating.
Navigate.
Enhance.
Ants?
Hey.
Oh, we're live, guys. I'm so sorry. Hey, yo, we had to do something. Okay, well, before we get into our haha goof cast, okay, we have to take it down a little bit for you guys.
Serious face.
Very serious.
Serious.
For just a little bit. Bear with us for just one moment. We figured we might as well do it at the start of the cast, so we can leave everything else for the haha funny bits. Okay. In the MTG Twitterverse, there's been a very dividing issue pop up as of late. And that's the issue on whether or not WotC should compensate people they give preview. Here at the Fishtank, this does not reflect upon Troll and Toad in any way whatsoever. This is Fishman's personal thoughts. I think you should compensate your creators because your creators are spending time and effort into making content for you to advertise your game. And I think some form of compensation is necessary. This is on the backs of WotC doing amazing in their social marketing, right? Like we have Mastodon in this set doing spoilers for us.
So to be trolling Twitter and then just see like, oh, Mastodon, oh, they got a new album, yay! Why are they showing me Magic cards?
Yeah,
it has been just a good time.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So the issue has popped up. Should everyone who gets preview card be compensated in some way? I totally agree. Speaking from someone who has been paid in exposure through most of his career. Whenever you're paid in exposure, you are not paid. With how the market is for whenever you get a preview card, you're putting so much time and effort and energy into making that video, into making that presentation for that card, and for your card to immediately, the moment you put it up, get yoinked and slapped on Mythic Spoiler, MTG Salvation, insert any other spoiler site. All that work you just did for that card is gone, and you have nothing to show for it. In comparison, we're going to look over at Konami, who has been so anti-creator in the past that they banned even... fight fish for that time? I'll fight you too. Konami's been so anti-creator in the past, they banned cameras at their own events to stop people from being Yugi-tubers.
I remember that. That was odd.
I remember being escorted out because they thought I was doing a deck profile while I was checking prices on my phone. It's been a thing. And Konami now has moved forward so much that for their content creators, they've been giving them booster boxes with every release. They've been giving them strategy inserts and personal translations. Like
they just got way better than
MST TV gets translations for rulings way before they're actually announced. And that's really cool, and I just think WotC should compensate their players in some way. Of course, everyone can get Mastodon level payouts, right? But just something other than just a card preview.
I can't imagine being the guy that makes, you're getting 500 views per video, and then finally you break through, and you got some notoriety, and then WotC's like, we're going to give you a preview card because your audience is, really picked up. Yay. Here's this. You can show it. And then 2 days before the video you've worked all week on to produce, 2 days before you post it, you look and, oh, there it is. It's on this website. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows. Nobody's going to come look. So I worked really hard for nothing in that regard.
Yeah, and it's not even counting leaks, right?
Yeah, and leaks.
Whenever leaks happen, that is time and effort that you put into that video that you can't get back. And, oh, well, good for you. You got a preview card, though. Like, WotC recognizes you. Congratulations for all that matters. You don't get a preview card the next season.
You got a hyperlink on a buried webpage. Congrats.
Yes. So just some form of compensation, I think, is necessary for us to move forward, because not paying your content creators is a relic of a bygone era that needs to change.
I see both sides of that argument. Like,
it's a very nuanced conversation.
Yeah. I mean, there's always evidence for one side or the other. But I really see both sides. But at the same time, the side that's like, well, they're getting the exposure and stuff. In a vacuum, yes, but you have to account for...
Just the way everything is nowadays. Like, your exposure for a preview card is not the same as a preview card you got whenever Return to Ravnica was a set, right? Like, it's not the same thing. But, hey, that's it for our serious talk. Too long, didn't listen. Fishman, thanks. WotC should compensate people in other ways than exposure. That's super short, super sweet. Let's get down to it. All right. So, opening bit. Oh, hold on. All right, so let's get into it, guys. All right, let's shake off the seriousness. All right, let's get the funny juices a going now.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah, loosey goosey. All right, this week on the Fish Tank, we cover some amazing news from MTG Skyrim, the set.
Nice.
We take a deep dive into just its impact. Is it really impacting the tournament scene, or is it just not impactful enough? And lastly, Fishman and Dead Diablo go over their sideboard guide on how to 2-0 everybody's bad matchup this year in 2020.
And 2020 had a lot of bad matchups.
Well, let's splash right on into the fish tank, shall we? Splash and splash.
Technically, we're already.
All right, I am your favorite aquatic gaming personality, and I am joined by a mage so powerful they had to emergency ban him, Mr. Dead Diablo. How are you doing today, sir?
It's too soon to bring up my banning, but thank you.
I'm sorry, it had to happen. You were just too good for the standard environment.
Too OP.
Too OP. There's some things I need to address from yesterday's stream. There's been some lies and some false facts being thrown around. Some would say fake news. Yesterday, we had two of our very popular streamers, JT and Drew, in here, and they said some very hurtful things about my reputation, and I just want to let you guys know that they've been dealt with, and that all their statements are unfactual and fake. Now, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to be going out and handling a hostile takeover. Myself, my own two fish hands from everybody's favorite big businessman, Mr. Bezos. Okay, I will show him my business style. I will show him the big thing business style.
Oh, lordy.
All right.
I've heard about this for the past 24 hours.
Anyways,
so.
I'm just letting you guys know that I am this company. Moving on. All right, so Kaldheim news. For all you guys who don't know, Kaldheim is the new set.
Yes. With one of the best marketing strategies Magic's ever employed. Thank you, Wizard.
Oh yeah, Cena. Hey, we're gonna have you on, and we're gonna do something very special with you, Cena. Don't you worry. We'll make a whole show of it. Don't you worry. Yeah, so Kaldheim. All right, so let's go over to Mythic Spoiler. Yeah, come on. Can we show people some of the cards from this set?
Get some screen share going.
Yeah. Show off some of these cards. Boom. All right, so we're on Mythic Spoiler. A site that we just, not trash talk necessarily, but we brought up earlier.
We're leading by example as to why this is a problem.
Yeah. Everything's just in one package. I don't have to go anywhere. All right, so Kaldheim is Skyrim the set, right? I mean,
yes.
You're a resident.
It is Vikings and metal, and I've never been happier or more excited. Mm-hmm. It is just I just wanted to live up to the hype that I have for it, because I have it like tier 9 solid on the hype trade.
Well, that's good that you're saying that, because I think this set's a solid 9 just with the cards they previewed so far.
Like everything I've seen, everything about like the time they seem to have taken into like the creative direction for it, I cannot fathom them letting this flop, because it is just too good. And like just the marketing behind it. Lacuna Coil has a spoiler coming up in January. Mastodon. Yeah, just spoiled lands.
Yeah. Speaking of the lands, by the way, so these are the hideaway lands or the pathway lands from Zendikar Rising. So they're the lands that you choose which side you want to put them on, right? Yeah. I think these lands are better than OG dual lands.
I like it because like you're not stuck really having a big go of it. You don't have to worry about entering tapped. It's just like, here's a land, you got your options, do your thing.
Yeah, so we're looking at Hingegate Pathway, Mistgate Pathway, the blue-white land, the Azorius land, which is weird because I wouldn't give Vikings the Azorius color pairing, right? Like, they don't seem very cool, calm, and collected.
I would like to just take a moment to say that Vikings are warriors of the sea.
They are warriors.
And it is literally white, the warrior color, and blue, the water color.
but they're warriors of emotion. The motion. Oh my goodness, what Vikings are about.
Okay, so in attitude and personality, they're definitely red-green. Definitely red-green, maybe green-black. But in just existence, they are green-white.
Oh, yeah.
Or blue-white.
Speaking of which, so the color pairings for the lands that we have is a little bit off. We got one ally color, and then the rest... Well, no, we got two ally colors. The black, red, and blue-white. The Azorius and Rakdos. By the way, the Rakdos land looks amazing, by the way.
It really does.
So cool.
Those
Got actual metal. They haven't posted the storybook art or the collector's pack art for any of these yet, have they? No.
They only have a few.
Oh, that's right.
Mastodon's video actually showed the extended arts that are going to be in the collector's edition.
Yeah. Not collector's edition, but the new secret layer, right? The one that has all the hideaway lands in it. Yeah, cool. I think they're all part of that. But they are definitely getting collector's art too. Because why wouldn't they? Magic's $15 pack.
Speaking of, I would like to take a moment to point out that they spoiled Wizards spoiled the collector's art for the set, and it literally looks like an Iced Earth album cover.
Yep.
And it's just like a hammer and like crackling lightning and just metal font. It's awesome.
So from the Carter, they've showed off from the collector's pack so far. I actually might have to get some of these. These look really cool. So I'm going to show off some of the collector's art. And Halvar, God of Battle. So he's oh no. Oh. It's not showing off the cool art.
Oh no. Was there not a click option?
No, I mean, I'm clicking on it right here.
Oh,
there we go. Hold on.
Yes,
we hover over.
You got to do the hover. Yes.
All right. So Halvar, God of Battle, is a 4-drop for 2 and a white. He's a 4/4. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. So really cool equipment payoff. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target Aurora or equipment to target creature you control. So it's a free equip.
That is pretty astounding, actually.
So he is a 4/4 for 4, all upside.
Which is always the perfect. If you got a 4/4 for 5, you have messed up, unless that ability is ridiculous.
Yeah, so his flip side is also really cool, too. Sword of the Realms. Sword of the Realms for 1 and a white. Equipped creature is +2/+0 and has vigilance. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Equip cost 1 and a white. So it's a legendary artifact. So it's legendary on both sides, right?
Right.
But this is a really cool god because if you draw multiples of them, you can cast it for the 4/4 on one side.
You know, the 4/4 creature out, and then you get to bring it in as the reverse side sword.
Yeah.
You had me at 4/4 for 4. You won me over with he turns into a sword.
He turns into an actual sword. So the weird thing about this god is most of the other gods in Magic's history, they have some type of death mechanic, right?
Yeah.
The ones from Theros were indestructible. The ones from Amonkhet were whenever they're in the yard.
Sent to the yard.
Yeah, sent to the yard, you get to add them back, like Scarab God and Scorpion God. And the like. I forget what's the third one. The Locust God.
Yeah. And then you had the gods from War of the Spark that bounce into the deck.
Yeah, so I mean, super cool. It's just weird that they're not giving gods death triggers anymore, which I think is really good for design space because in Norse mythology, gods can die. They get die and they get reborn.
Yep.
So super cool. Hopefully, we get to see like some type of like Ragnarok type enchantment that allows you to like recycle gods or something. Or, you know, I just wish there was a card that enables you to, like, search your deck out for, like, another god. Like, if you're playing God Tribal and Commander.
Oh, that'd be
like,
cool.
Being able to, like, I don't know, like...
This set does make God Tribal just a little bit cooler.
I mean, just being able to sacrifice a god and, like, finding a god that's, like, 1 converted mana cost higher. If only there was a... Oh, there is. It's called the Pyre of Heroes.
This card is incredible.
This card is New Birthing Pod. So Birthing Pod's an old card from New Phyrexia. Dad, do you want to tell them what it does?
It does very, 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 very broken things. And like myself, is banned in most everything.
Birthing Pod. Well, Pyre of Heroes. It is a 2-mana artifact with an activated ability for 2 and tap it. Sacrifice a creature you control. Search your library for a creature that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature, and that has a converted mana cost equal to 1 plus that creature's converted mana cost. So you grab a god 1 CMC higher. So you sack a turn 3 god like Crewfix or something, and you get to go grab a turn 4 god like Thassa.
Yes. Thassa.
Yes, like Thassa. Super cool. Put that card into play. Activate this ability anytime you could activate a sorcery. So you can't do it at instant speed. But if you remember, Birthing Pod has the exact same line on it.
Yeah.
And Birthing Pod is a card that dominated Modern.
Dominated everything.
It wasn't that oppressive in Standard.
That was a really good Standard, though.
It got degenerate. But it wasn't, it wasn't that bad.
Birthing Pod shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
This is a very, very, very good commander card.
I think this card is busted. I think this card might be banned in Standard.
I could see it.
For one reason, and that is Changelings are back.
Oh.
Changelings are back. So
words you don't want to hear.
For all you guys who are not super familiar with Magic, Changeling is this creature has every creature type.
Yes.
So for the Pyre of Heroes, the card that we just talked about, all those creatures, every Changeling counts as every creature type. So they are just a generic thing for you to either grab off Pyre of Heroes, or just have a Changeling deck.
Give your options open.
Yeah, you have infinite anything. And
because the line shares a creature type means you don't have to declare, so you can sack a Changeling to a Pyre and then search out anything.
Yes.
That is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they changed Changeling to officially say is every creature type now. Now it's no longer you state it.
Yep.
So the first Changeling that we have is Realm Walker. All right, so for 2 and a green, for a 2/3 creature shapeshifter, has Changeling, so upside. Also, it's really cool because if there's any tribal shenanigans in like draft or sealed, Changelings function practically as equipments or artifacts. So, they're really cool. Also gives some Muriel Exile for the set. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may cast creature spells of the chosen type from your library. Whenever it enters battlefield, you choose a creature type, of course. So whenever he comes in, you just say Changeling.
It's a 3-drop 2/3 green Changeling that goes into any tribal deck.
Yeah, it goes into any tribal deck. It's a way of constant creature advantage in any mid-range deck. That we had some loud people. All right.
I'm really excited to see as the set progresses and more spoilers come out how into the tribal they went with this set, because I really, really, really like formats that are heavy on tribal.
Like Lorwyn. We were talking about Lorwyn off show. Lorwyn has a nameless inversion is a cool thing. The red removal spell, Tart Bogger or something. It's a tribal sorcery goblin.
Yep.
It's a removal spell. So many amazing cards are Changeling, and the set is doing nothing but just ramping us up. And we're not even done talking about cards that we want to talk about. Like, every card they've showed, every card is worth talking about. Except for, I think, some of the theme deck and theme pack exclusives.
Which has to be expected there.
Yeah,
they are what
I
they
mean,
are.
there's generic stuff, right? Like, these are for the more casual audience.
Every now and again, you get a theme single that's like, oh, yes, that is good.
The only one I really want to talk about from the theme decks is Giant's Grasp. So for 2 and 2 blue, Enchantment Aurora. Enchant Giant you control. When Giant's Grasp enters the battlefield, gain control of target non-land permanent as long as you control, as long as Giant's Grasp remains on the battlefield. So it's control magic, but you have to control Giant.
It's a 4-drop that literally steals any non-land permanent. That's pretty. You just take your walker.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your planeswalker right now.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's balanced because it could just remove the giant and then it removes the counter, control magic.
Which makes me hope that they had the forethought to put in enough like reasonable enchantment removal. And this isn't a card that's like, we put it in for sealed and drafting, and then like a standard deck gets to abuse it, and they're like, oh man, now we have to look at this uncommon because we didn't print enough enchantment removal that's reasonable in the format.
Yeah, but this it also turns every creature removal spell you have into enchantment removal too, because you can just kill the giant unless the giant has hexproof. Yeah. So it's a little. I think it's very balanced. I really like the card. The card's not going to be dominating any tournament table here soon, but I think with Flesh Stomper Giant from Eldraine seeing as much play as he does right now, I think, and Tamir stuff is just really cool. Oh man, I think this card could see some play moving forward.
I could see a control deck maybe throwing it in the sideboard.
Yeah, I think if you're playing the Flesh Pulper Giant in your deck, and I think this is a decent sideboard option if you're playing against. If it's Tamir midrange, I think this is a card that goes up against it. It's a good card against control too.
And we haven't seen how heavy this set is. We don't know if it's like a utility set, if this is going to be like a super, like, oh, this changes everything. You know? So we could see decks arise from this that we haven't even conceived yet.
Exactly. And, there we go. All right. So, another card I want to talk about. This, we'll save Kaya for last, because I really like Kaya. So, Magda Brazen Outlaw. So, first of all, look at this art. This new art is like insane,
that
right?
That art is insane.
So,
I love it so much.
For 1 and a red, it is a 2/1 legendary creature, Dwarf Berserker. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0, so it's a mini lord. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. A treasure token is you can tap, sack it, generate a mana. So it's pretty cool. So no matter what, you're always getting some form of mana investment back. Sacrifice 5 treasures. Search your library for an artifact or dragon card and put it in the play shuffle your library.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this this card. So search your deck for any artifact. So Mindslaver, that's a powerful artifact. Any combo enabler that you have in your commander deck.
There's so many plays with that.
Yeah.
That's a 2-drop.
It's a 2-drop. Yeah, and it says any dwarf. She counts herself. So like even if she's the only dwarf out and you're attacking with her, or just tapped, you don't have to attack. So if you have any of the inspired mechanic or hippocamp or any way of like tapping them to generate advantage, or by drawing a card, I think there's multiple equipments that say tap your guy, draw 2 or something. So you do that, you generate treasure, no matter what. So long as you are proactive with her, you are generating treasure, and that treasure turns into a threat or a combo piece later on. This card is insane. And all for a 2/1 for 2.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of all of the options that you have to just grab a dragon or an artifact, and across all formats. Like
this is instant speed too. This is instant speed. You just grab your Begorgon Hellkite, you grab your Utova Hellkite, you grab your Hellkite Tyrant in mono red, the one that if you control 20 artifacts, you win the game. Like you can just grab that at instant speed.
Were the Dragon Lords typed as dragons?
Yeah, they're Elder Dragons.
Yes. So you can just
the
implications in Modern for this, and like it's not hard to accrue treasure. It's just like you had nothing to do with it. That is ridiculous because all you have to do is stick it. If they don't counter it, even if they have the kill spell, sack 5.
Yep, you sack 5 treasures.
And 5 treasures.
It doesn't even have to be treasures she generates. It could be any treasures, like your Revel in Riches treasure. It could be there's a bunch of cards from Ixalan Sea Plane Commander that give you treasures that I can't think of right now.
Red black. I'm gonna just spam Colligans.
Yeah, like you just spam Culligan. Like you spam. Man, this card is insane. I like it. Might actually get me to play mono red and commander.
There are a lot of things you can do there. I'm very excited for that card.
Plus, it looks insane. Plus, I think this might be standard playable just because it's a dwarf lord.
If they throw in enough like you concurrent you get treasure cards if you can make that.
Well, I think just standalone like Magda by themselves is good enough because she pumps other lords, other dwarves for your control. So your Rimrock Knights from Eldraine, the one that gives a target attacking creature +3/+0.
Yeah.
And can't be blocked on his non-adventure side.
I feel like the combo play there is like I want to see the enchantment they have that I can just put on her that lets me just tap for a thing, even if there's like some random blue enchantment that like I can put this on her and tap her to draw a card, discard a card, like something I can just sit there and not have to send her body in and just consistently be tapping in and just making those treasure tokens.
Oh, you mean like vehicles which are making a return.
Vehicles.
Which are making a return in this set.
Look, I want to go out on a limb and say this is a Viking set. If there is not a longboat vehicle that I can tap, I'm going to riot. It is uncalled for. I need that in my life.
I mean, there's going to be a very long boat, right? Like, there's going to be such a long boat. The crew cost for that boat's going to be like 10.
I'm picturing that art in my head right now.
Long boat.
Play it right, Wizards, please.
Long boat. All right. I think the last card that I'm pretty sure. You want to talk about Showdown of Skulls?
I do want to talk about Showdown of Skulls.
Oh, okay. So tell them what this card is.
So, Skalds are musicians. They're bards. Showdown of the Skalds is Battle of the Bands. That is what that means. It's the only reason I want to talk about this card.
Okay.
The name convention just makes me so happy considering musicians are showing me Magic cards right now.
All right, so this is for 2 and a red and white. It's an Enchantment Saga. So how sagas work is whenever enters the battlefield and after your draw step, you get to put a lore counter on them and sacrifice after it receives 3 lore counters. Some sagas I think go on past 3.
Yeah, it depends on the card, but essentially they're timed enchantments.
Yeah.
They come in and do a thing off the number of tokens that are on it, and then every turn they get so many until the sacrifice thing happens.
Yeah, so super cool. I think they made their debut in Dominaria. This is a Richard Garfield mechanic. This is a Richard Garfield exclusive card type.
And I really enjoy it because it lets you have just like a bunch of cards in one, and they're fun. Historically, I can't think of ones, but there's been a handful of these that have like seen standard play, modern play.
Me and you, whenever we used to stream this by ourselves, remember that Jund Eldest Reborn deck I had?
Yes.
Yeah, Eldest Reborn is a very powerful saga.
That is very, very good. And then there's the
there is the QR Best to See God, which sees some standard play right now.
There was the green-white one that was in the token deck at that time. I can't think of
yeah, I know.
It was in the Selesnya deck when.
There's sagas have a very lucrative history behind them. They're very good cards. So for Chapter 1, it says exile the top 4 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. So this is card advantage in Boros.
Yep.
So Boros is a color pairing that doesn't have card advantage in normal ways like drawing cards or...
Yeah, no, they just want to have access to play them. They don't care if they have a hand. They don't care if they're holding back. They're just like, I just need to be able to deal that extra 4 damage to end this game.
Yeah. Notice this says play and not cast.
Yes.
So you can put lands in play.
Oh.
Yes.
That is very handy for Boros. Yeah. That means...
You still only get the 1 land drop per turn.
Right, but that means you're not losing that card.
Yeah, if you hit 4 and like say you're already flooded and you hit 4 lands off the top, that's 4 lands you don't have to hard draw anymore.
Yeah, that means your top deck game has just got that much better.
Yes. Also, for chapters 2 and 3, 2 and Tra, whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, baby. So... every creature you play just gets +1/+1. From then on.
Yep.
So after a board wipe, you can immediately play this. So it gasses your hand back up by being able to play off the top of the deck. And then on the subsequent turns, and that's for whenever you cast a spell this time. Put +1/+1 on target creature you control.
And that's for 2 turns.
That's for 2 turns, and it's whenever you do it. So like adventure is still in standard. So after, let's say you cast a card that was off on an adventure, right? So it comes into play. Then you say, let's cast like shock or something. Like let's kill a Lotus Cobra. Let's kill their Lotus Cobra. We deal 2 to the Cobra, and suddenly our giant gets +1/+1 bigger. You're putting a clock on them, and that's for every spell.
And it's like, and you get to do it. So I mean, worst case scenario, it baits a kill spell that they hold on to for 2 turns to use. So card's fundamentally insane. I like this card a lot for Boros. The only thing I have against this card, and I know it needs to be balanced, and it's probably too nutty at 3-drop.
I was about to say the same thing.
If this was Boros in 1, this card would be like very good. It goes in modern. It does its spot justice. If they had just made that a 3-drop, and instead of saying exile the top 4, just said exile the top 3, card's perfect.
Oh man, because it's at the 4-drop slot and it's competing with Nahiri. Like, yes, that is my biggest complaint with it.
If I'm gonna have a card in my deck that's 4 mana, also, I would rather have the guy that turns into a sword.
Yeah,
4.
Yeah. For 4 mana, it's competing with a lot of stuff right now. However, I do think in Boros, this might be the best thing you could do it for. Depending on deck list, of course. I think Pawblade would rather see this over Nahiri any day of the week.
If they were going to keep it 4 and they're going to have a 1, 2, 3, and they're going to have that CMC.
Or y'all making me want Wendy's. I always want Wendy's.
Hey, lunchtime approaches for me. I've got plans. But if they had kept the CMC at 4, done exactly what they did, but changed either 0.2 or 3, then instead of just making them both the same thing, and it's not that great of a thing. If this card read exile the top 4 and you could play, and then 2 said 3, and then 3 said 2 cards exiled, this would be a better card even then.
Well, I think the card is still like insane, right? It's just competing with a lot of stuff. Also 4 is the standard Embercleave CMC too right now, right? Like, especially after a board wipe. But I think you can't think of a better card after an extinction event than this. This card, hands down, just turns the tables.
It's like, and now I stabilize. What you got?
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, you better have a second board wipe.
Yeah, because I'm just coming right back.
Also, I think this card is pretty nutty and does just guy control too.
It's also very important to notice that is not a legendary saga. That is just a... So you can just multiple.
I think all sagas are legendary. Oh, I could be wrong.
Do they hold to that rule?
I don't know. I'm not a thesaurus.
Draft your tweets.
I'm not a thesaurus. Okay. So last card we're going to talk about before we get into our predictions for the set. All right, so we're going to talk about Kaya, the Inexorable. So this is the big planeswalker of the set, right? This one was spoiled based on pack art.
I'm just really happy she has a main set card other than the uncommon from War of the Spark.
Well, she got the Ravnica Allegiance Mythic too.
Oh yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much for follow, Force Tetsu and Wacky Duck. Thank you guys so much for the follow. You guys are the reason why we do this. All right, so Kaya the Inexorable for 3 colorless and a black and white. So a Norzov for a 5 mana planeswalker. So for 5 CMC and she has 5 starting loyalty. Pretty okay. +1. Put a ghost form counter on up to 1 target non-token creature. So it's not one that you control. It's just non-token creature. It gains when this creature dies or is put into exile. Return it to its owner's hand and create a +1. Create a 1/1 white spirit token.
That is
with flying into play.
That is a really good +1.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to her as if she's part of a control shell because that's where I think she's gonna fit in.
It seems very much like.
So she turns all your shark tokens from Sharknado. That turns them into like basically recurable threats.
Yeah.
Because there's so many times where I just Sharknado for like 1, just to have a way of like chump blocking out there, and this is a way to turn that shark token into a double block, essentially. For 2 chumps, I guess. Not a double block, but double chump.
So she can only ghost form non-token creatures, right?
Oh, well, it's us also on Solemn Sims, on...
okay, yeah. So all your chump blockers
Yeah.
double.
That's what I meant. No, sorry.
I follow.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
It's been a long day. Yeah, Solemn Sims, the land creature, the crawling caravans, the Zendikar Rising Manland.
She very good mid range too.
Yeah, CA mouse. Yeah,
Yeah, because like most mid range fall into the ploy of like, well, if I don't see my threats, I'm not going to do well. I'm not going to succeed. So when you do stick them, you're really worried in mid range about that removal. That's like really the folly of mid range is worrying about the removal spell. So this is just like, well, I have a dude that now you have to answer because she does other stuff, but specifically she keeps my mid range just recurring. It's like, okay, you got a kill spell. He was ghost formed. I get a 1/1 chump blocker with flying, so I can get you in the air if I need to. If you're stalemated on the board.
I mean, it's not much of a clock, but it's still a clock.
It's not much of a clock, but I mean, you do that 4 turns. That's 4 1/1s.
And that's all the possibilities just off her +1. She has 2 more abilities, guys. All right, so her -3, exile target non-land permanent.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's perfect.
Clean. Done.
The fact that you get to bring her out, do that if you need to, and then uptick her another turn, and then you get to do it again before she's gone. Like, it's beautiful.
It's so good. Like I love planeswalkers that get to remove threats. Elspeth Sun's Champion's my favorite planeswalker of all time.
He sometimes will just blanketly text me that out of nowhere, and I'm just
all
like, me too, man.
I mean, it's how I know that I value you as a person. If you get my Elspeth Sun's Champion, might be the best white planeswalker of all time, if not the best planeswalker of all time.
It was my birthday once, and he said, "Hey, man, I really like Ugin." Thanks, dude.
And I think the exact words were, "I wonder if today is Ugin's birthday too." Dot. You want to play? Do you want to play some Magic?
I wept that evening.
I value our friendship.
Clearly you do.
All right, and her -7, so if you uptick her twice, you get to go into this. You get an emblem at the beginning of your upkeep. You may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards you own in exile without paying its mana cost.
That is ridiculous.
It's a free legendary.
Every turn.
Oh, and it's an emblem, so it's not just once. No, you get an emblem that says that, and there's no way to remove emblems in the game of Magic.
Okay, so this card does 3 of my favorite things I love Planeswalkers to do. It makes tokens in a roundabout way, but it makes tokens.
Yep, makes tokens.
It answers threats.
Yep, kills stuff.
Not just creatures. It answers non-land permanent threats.
Yep, it answers anything.
And it gives an emblem, and the emblem is good.
Emblem is great. This might be the best emblem ever.
No, what's the one that lets...
This is Debtor's Kneel. Like, do you remember that card from Guild Pack?
Oh,
the Black-White Enchantment? Like, this is Debtor's Kneel.
I wouldn't argue. I would argue against it being the best emblem, though. What's the one that it stops your opponents from casting non-creature spells? That is probably the best emblem. Yes, Narset.
Narset. The Transcendent? The blue-white one?
Yes, because Enlightened is the creature.
Yes.
Okay. So we got there. We sussed it out.
Yeah. Looking kind of sus there.
Red seems sus. Sus.
Okay, so let's talk about some of our calls for this set. I know Kaltime's still pretty young, but we've been around the block a few times. We know how Magic sets go. We know what Watson's thinking. We here at the Fishtank have our fins on the pulse of everything that Watson could be doing. There's no way that we're wrong about anything, right? We're statistically perfect on this podcast. We have 100% batting average right now.
Except for the fact that like 30 seconds ago, I realized that the Saga I was speaking of was a white card that was in the token deck, not a Selesnya. But go on.
No, it's fine. Statistically perfect. We have 100% batting average. 100% of 100%. Exactly, chat. All right, so our called shots. So, all right. This is based off a leak, but some of the pack art that we've seen features some very rambunctious devil from Magic's past. A very, how we say, terrible Terrible, awful card. This card has never had a good card.
Never.
Ever. He's never had a good card. And the card I'm talking about is Tibble.
And he makes tokens, and I think he's terrible.
It doesn't matter. He's a random discard from his Evason Restored one. He was the OG bulk Planeswalker.
The first of the worst.
He set up the pricing for bulk Planeswalkers.
He did.
Tibble made history. And I think in Heldheim they're going to do him justice. I think they are going to make him absolutely busted.
I would like to see him have one good. At this point, it's a meme.
Okay.
Right? Like, they're just leaning into it.
So
that he's so bad.
Here's what I think. He's gonna cost 3. He's gonna be super undercosted.
Okay.
He's gonna cost 3. Starting loyalty 5. He's War of the Spark stats. Okay. He's War of the Spark stats. +1. Your opponent discards a card at random from their hand. Super innocuous, right?
That's on flavor for him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Tibble, very bad, big off. Exactly, so big. So we're gonna make him big good. We're gonna give him big Tibbled energy. All right. So
that
all right.
big Tibbled energy.
Tibble, he always tells a story, right? In his first card, he tells a story of his +1 is discarding a card to draw a card. It's like he's brilliant, but like he's mad, right? So you're always losing something whenever you gain something. And then his other part of the story is dealing damage based on how many cards in the opponent's hand. And so that's his opponent jabbing. Well, that's him jabbing at the opponent for thinking they're smarter than him. And his ultimate doesn't matter. I can't even remember it. So that's what I want this Tibble to tell a story, right? I want his +1 to be like, you think you're smarter than me? Prove it. Discard a card. So then I want his -2. It's just a +1. It's just a +1.
Just a +1. Just a +1.
That's a +1.
Just a +1.
Yeah. His -2 or 3. We'll be flexible on this. We'll be flexible.
Open-ended plus or minus.
So we'll be open. It's gonna say deal 3 damage to something. Deals 3 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or player. He's a lightning bolt for -3. Right? That's not that good.
That's fair.
That's not that good.
That's balanced.
Yeah.
That's balanced.
-7. You get to cast every card in your graveyard for free. He is, but you pay life instead of the mana cost. So he's Yagmoth's Will in red that requires him to stay alive for 2 turns.
The only thing that makes that too broken is that Tibbled is red.
Yeah.
And you just put that 5-drop in and you go empty my burn pile again.
But you're also paying a life too, right? Like
Yes.
You're paying a life associated.
Yes, but like the negative balance there is you throw him in a burn deck of any
What's
kind.
The B word you use? Balance? No, there's no balance. No. Don't you come at me with balance and good game design. No, I want Tibble to be awesome, okay? I want them to ban Tibble. All right? Could you imagine Tibble comes out and he's just so good? He becomes the most played card in Standard. Could you imagine? I can't think of a better way. That is the only way to redeem Tibble.
That would be pretty good. I mean, that is very busted because I mean, you're just gonna bring him out and be like, I'm gonna pay 3 life to burn you for 9.
Hey.
Handshake?
Well, no. It's his -7. His -7. His big ultimate. It's not even an emblem that says you can do that for any time. No, it's a big one.
Right. But he's a 5-drop that comes out.
No. 3-drop. 3-drop base loyalty of 5.
Okay, 3-drop base loyalty of 5. So there's a 3-drop that comes out on turn 3.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Oh, double red, of course.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Or we can make it triple red because his original one was double red.
Okay, we'll go with triple red. That's probably the most balanced CMC. But
exactly,
#ban Tibble.
Brian.
#ban Tibble. I like that. But so you have him. He comes out, and then I mean, let's say you drop him on turn 4 or 5, and then you proceed to. You've got 4 burn cards in your yard already, and then you just uptick while still burning, and then you get to go, boom, okay, I'm going to pay 3 life and burn you for 9, extend handshake. Why are you crying? Why'd you fold your playmat like that? I think he dropped.
What, are you salty at Tibble? Are you quitting because Tibble? No, I need you to say that you're quitting because Tibble.
He's just a little devil man. Just a little devil man.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. He's just... I just want him to be busted, okay? This is just my way of pushing my Tibble agenda.
The Tibble agenda.
The Tibble agenda, all right? This is just my way of pushing it. Do you have any calls? Because I mean, I think that's a big call. I think a ban-worthy Tybalt's a big call.
You put way more thought into designing cards than I do. I'm just like, this is a Viking set. I need Garruk.
I need Garruk.
He has an axe and a helmet. I need Garruk.
They did talk about a new planeswalker, by the way.
A new one.
Yeah, he's all right. So in the lore for Kaldheim, there's a bunch of kings or whatever, and there's an elf kingdom, of course, because it's Magic. Every set has to have elves in it, and there's some elves in Norse mythology. Legend is making our frogs Tibble. You're turning our frogs into Tibbles.
Oh man, that's solid.
I lost my train of thought.
New Planeswalker.
Oh yeah, new Planeswalker. So he's a brother of one of the elf kings in the set, and his brother is supposed to be like a king of legend. He's the best king this kingdom has ever had. He's the most elven king ever.
Are you about to say I'm about to get another elf Planeswalker that isn't Freyalise?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a green mage at heart, everyone.
So I don't think this character is going to be very deep or anything, because in his intro article that Wizards did about him, they talked about his brother and how his brother was like the pinnacle of the kingdom, and like he's this like untapped potential for like all this stuff. And his thing is like, well, typically in fiction, how writers carry this character is they make him have a grudge against their brother. We're not doing that in this one. In fact, he wants to surpass his brother through sheer shonen optimism. They're making a shonen character.
Hashtag protag armor.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to look cool. I think he's going to be really cool. I think he's going to be busted.
I'm excited. I'm very, very, very. This will be the first main set Elven Planeswalker.
I totally agree with you, Mouse. Totally agree. I cannot wait to see him. I just think how they rolled him out was a little sus. It's just a little weird.
I'm excited. I really want to see those abilities, and I want them with this set. I want them to go as broad as they can. Like they've got Changeling in here, you know. They've got Treasure being mentioned. They've got sagas. Like I just want to see that keep going. Just be like, this set has a little bit for everything. Yeah. Like, I want to see that. It's been a long time since we've. I was really excited when they brought back core sets because I thought like they were gonna like do that, where it's like, here's a set that's really broad, nothing specific, and then for some reason when they came out, they
tie it to Teferi, like
right. They came out and they're like, here's a core set, but like, you know, it helps this and this and this exist. It's like, I don't want that. I want to have the toolbox set.
Yeah, just reprint a bunch of cool stuff.
That's what we miss. Like, this is your chance to give me Boros Reckoner in Standard again without making us go back to Ravnica for the umpteenth time. Yeah. This is your chance to let me just have Flint Hoof Boar. Like just put it in there.
Yep.
Nothing's going to use it. Nothing's going to abuse it. Like, but I have access to those cards, and it always makes the drafting better too. And Sealed is like my favorite next to Commander.
I drafted a lot of M20 and M21. I drafted a lot of the core sets, and I can honestly say, like, it's fun. Like, it's very fun. It's not very deep. It's super bomb oriented, of course, like every core set draft is. So like, if you pull a busted rare, you're probably going to end up winning your pod, but. There's a lot of like cool minutiae stuff. I hate drafting like super low to the ground aggressive decks. Right. Like, you know me. Like, I would rather draft like 41 card mid range all day and just actually play Magic.
That's the sweet spot. When you get to draft a control deck, it's like you just feel dirty.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, you would just draft aggro, and it made aggro feel really good to me.
I too have an arena account and have been drafting a bunch of the core sets as they come, but I'm finding that just it's missing something that's core set. Like, I remember going to my LGS and sitting down and drafting even Magic Origins. Like, that was just so fun, and they didn't give me that. They took it away for so long, and they didn't come back and go, here's everything you needed. They're like, M19, it's the same thing as what's basically. This is what's rotated out. Here it is. Here's it back.
Speaking of stuff that will, help you get that feeling of just opening like actual core sets back up. So they updated the list from Kaldheim, the list of cards. If you're not familiar with, Magic came out with set boosters for Zendikar Rising, And set boosters include mystery reprints of certain cards from this. It was 210 cards for Zendikar Rising, but I think now they upped it to like 300 something.
It was 300.
300?
On the article I read last night was 300. I don't know if they intend on adding more or not.
A lot of cards are on this list, and they're random reprints.
Yeah.
Some of the cards. If you can we go back to full screen? Don't want to click over at show notes. I agree, CAMLs. No, Green Black Elves definitely need a planeswalker. Yeah, for Elise, right? But she's not fast, right? She just makes you another 1/1.
Hey, do not. She's been in every mono green commander I've ever made.
Yeah.
No,
for Elise is a powerhouse.
Do not talk down to Felice.
For Elise is great. All right, so some of the cards that are on the list. Birthing Bowels, which is the modern Horizon Changeling land.
I'm really excited for one card there, and I'm going to skip ahead to it. Cavern of Souls is in here.
I was leading up to that, but yes.
I'm sorry, I can't bury that lead. That just makes me so happy.
So, there. What did I do? But yeah, Cavern of Souls is in this, and this is the money reprint from the set. Zendikar Rising had Food Chain.
They give you some goodies. Like that's the best card, but there's a lot of similarly great cards.
Yeah. Dark Deaths is another reprint.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about the set or the list reprints are they feature certain artworks. So the Cavern of Souls that we were talking about is featuring the Avacyn Restored artwork.
Yep.
And it's going to be the Avacyn Restored frame too.
Yeah. The list actually shows you what set is representing.
Yeah. We have Braylon, the Sky Shark Rider from Commander 20. We have the Bone Crusher Giant, Eldraine Showcase Rare. For Elise, Llanowar's Fury. Hey, we just talked
Represent.
about her. Desolation Angel from whatever. Desolation? No, that's... Trying to think. What's Desolation Angel?
Desolation. I can picture the artwork in my head. I cannot think of the set.
It's not the Black-White Angel that pops something whenever she enters play, right?
No, she's mono-white. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, regardless. Elspeth Conquers Death is a reprint from Theros Beyond Death.
Giver of Runes.
Or, no, Conquers Death is the enchantment. It's the saga.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Giver of Runes is another one.
Yeah, no, Giver of Runes is super sweet. That is also a reprint from Modern Horizons. That card was getting up to the $20 mark.
Yeah, so it's like it's a good way of putting cards that people want back into circulation. Yeah. It's a really good idea. The article I read, I wish I could cite the source, but it may have actually been the Wizards page I pulled this from. But it's supposed to be roughly 1 in 4 packs has the last card in the pack is slotted for one of these.
And you get a lot of goodies. Scrying Sheets from Cold Snap, which that card was like pushing 25.
Oh, yeah. Kaya, Ghost Assassin.
Yeah. Mystical Tutor, which that card keeps going up.
Yeah.
And it's the signature spellbook series, Mystical Tutor, too.
Oh, yeah, that's really good art.
The Jace one.
Yeah, it's really good art.
Kindred Discovery. All the Kindred stuff from Commander 2017 is just spiking up right now. Ooh. Corvold, the Fey Cursed. Yeah. The Jund Dragon.
Yeah,
Jund Dragon is on there.
There's Scrying Sheets, Seething Song.
Yeah.
Great guy. Tibble, your boy.
Oh, my boy! The Rakish Instigator. The War of the Spark one. The one that
makes tokens and is... That's still bad.
I think
still bad.
Whenever your opponent discards a card, they take one. I think that's his static ability. Vernal Equinox, Vorinclex.
Vorinclex, which is I want to interject on Vorinclex because I read this list, and Vorinclex is probably most definitely top 5 commander cards of all time. Vorinclex. With a Winter's Orb on the board has cost me so many friendships. Fish did not speak to me for 3 days on the back of a win that I got in Commander.
You call that a win?
It was a win.
Well, I wouldn't say that's a win. I would more call that like a A murder? You just murdered everyone?
You open Winter's Orb. You open Winter's Orb and Mana Crypt, and then you get to go into. So a lot of people don't know this, but Seaborn Muse. Seaborn Muse says you untap during each player's untap step. Winter's Orb only specifies players don't untap during their untap step. So Seedborn Muse with a Winter's Orb means I get to go play my turn, turn everything sideways, do whatever, pass, your upkeep, I'll untap. I run Omnath, Locust of Mana. So I just got to constantly stock my mana pool every turn with my full tap out, thanks to that combination. And then I got to go see Vorinclex when they finally did untap enough, and then they didn't even get to untap those specific lands.
And he wonders why he's no longer invited to game night.
Also, failed to mention the Vorinclex taps for double.
Yep. Also, you had the gauntlet,
Gauntlet of Power?
Yes, that one.
Yeah. So
there's like 4 or 5 gauntlets.
Yeah, I was definitely tapping for like 30. I had a bank of like 150. It was good times. I was just like, all I need is any tutor for this Ulamog. I got it. I got there. On turn 6.
Well, speaking of getting there, so there's a Yu-Gi-Oh set release this week. It's called Genesis Impact. Luxury Gaming hosted a tournament last week, enabling people to play on Dueling Book using the cards from the new set. So this is under the new current ban list, and this is under Genesis Impact. The full set list is it? Is it time for our giveaway?
Ooh.
Mr. Producer Man?
Free stuff.
Oh, well, hey guys, hey, well, while we're getting the stuff for the giveaway all set up, I'm going to talk to you guys about our deal of the day. All right, you want to take your Dragon Ball Super deck to the next level? You want your win rate to be over 9,000%? Then check out our deal of the day. Dragon Ball Super Series 1 Rise of the Unison Warriors Premium Pack. All right, previously $11.95. Currently $9.95 today, exclusively for you guys. For bringing the gifts all December long, just for you guys. Each premium pack includes 4 Rise of the Unison Warriors, 4 packs, and 2 limited edition promo cards featuring Toya. You know, from all my Xenoverse players out there, you know who Toya is, and it's her in her special outfit. Wow. To really power up your deck for the low cost of $9.95. You don't need to wish for anything else this holiday season.
Because we've already delivered.
Yeah. We're DBS. Yeah. All right. So we're going to be talking about the Luxury Gaming Championship. We have the top 16 pulled up right now. Can we go big mode?
Big mode.
Can we go big mode and show off some of these deck lists? So we have first place is Virtual World, of course. Virtual World is a archetype that came out in Phantom Rampage. It's a set that focuses on just ladder climbing and using level 9 synchros and rank 9 exceeds. Focuses on just turboing out in the True King of All Calamities, which is a walking skill drain deck.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it's a quick effect detach. And you turn all their monsters that turn into an attribute, and all monsters of that attribute effects are negated.
Oh, nice.
So he's also like 2,700 too. Like, so he's a big boy.
He's having to put these in terms I can understand.
Yeah, that's been out of the game for a little bit.
I've been out of it for quite a long time.
Yeah, but hey, this is the game we cut our teeth on. So it's just riding. It's ride the bicycle.
Yeah, my son is very interested in this, so I'm slowly like easing in.
Yeah, so we're looking at Luke Coogan's, not Colligan's, Virtual World list. For his forms of interaction, he's playing 3 Nibiru, 3 Cypher, and Gamma. So Gamma is basically an effect veiler and Ghost Ogre like mixed together.
Okay.
It negates an effects and destroy if you control no cards.
Okay.
So it's if your opponent goes first and tries to activate a card effect, you can activate that from hand and special.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, it special summons a vanilla from your deck in Cypher and Driver.
I see.
Yeah, Gamma is also a tuner, so you can tune Driver and Gamma together for Cypher or Omega during your turn and take a card from your opponent's hand.
Is that an E-Telly I see in
yes.
the deck?
So
That
the
makes me
Virtual
sad.
World archetype, I think they're all psychics, especially the starter card. I need to do more research in the Virtual World. I know I can't pronounce their names. They're based off, one of them's like the Kirin. They're based off like Chinese animals or whatever. Super cool archetype. It's another one of the archetypes where the field spell searches out the main starter, and then the main starter starts all the plays.
Okay.
Yes.
Very reminiscent, actually, of windups from what you just described.
Oh, no,
as far as
exactly.
like the chain reaction.
Yeah.
Which windups is a very fun.
Yeah,
deck.
just think of the field spell as their wind up factory / Black Whirlwind.
Honestly, like, were I to actively get back in, this is probably something like what I would be looking for.
Hey, virtual. And the deck's also pretty cheap too. I think only one ultra rare. The deck is all commons and supers, except for the 3 ultra rares and Lin Lao's. Let's go 1 minute. Yeah, roll for winner. Hey, yeah, guys, spam that DBS in the chat. The big screen.
Big screen.
Exactly, Mouse. The big screen. The big modes.
Go big mode.
Go big mode.
Hashtag go big mode.
In the the Lin Lao, I think is like $15-16. I think she's pushing 20. So I have this in the show notes.
See, I come from the area where it was like, well, you need 3 of these and they're $85. So,
well, some decks are like that. The triple tactical talents are $100 a piece right now. Or I think they're about $85 if you can find good deals on them. Super expensive card, but it's a card that if your opponent activates a monster, an effect during your turn, you get to choose one of the effects. One's draw 2, one's look at your opponent's hand and discard a card, and the other one's, I think, pop a card.
oh, that's very fun. So is that archetype specific or is
No,
that...
it's generic.
Okay, so that's just like you need this to play in the format. So that's
Well, not really.
But-
It's a going second type card. It's a card that you use in order to break boards, or if you're going first and you're all in on combo, it's a card where if they waste a hand trap on you, you get to look at their hand and see if they have another hand trap.
I mean,
To either continue your play or just stop right there and make a defensive board.
it's just nice to know like that I can get those cards and use them in something else as a utility.
Yeah, yo, congrats to Fat Boy 319. You won the giveaway, my dude. Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Drew. The deck is super cool. Looking into his sideboard, he's playing 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Ghost Spells, 3 Lancia. We have a better look. Oh, there we go. Oh, I hate.
Oh, that
I hate
pixelation.
this. Yes, I hate this. All of these are like this on Reddit. Ah.
Oh, hey, I'm familiar with those cards.
Yeah, so he's side decking 3 Ash, 2 Ghost Spell, 3 Lancia for the dinosaur matchup, of course, because dinosaurs weren't handled on this most recent list. You would like the dinosaur deck.
Like everything you're saying about this format, I'm just like, what year is it? What year?
Right? You would like the dinos. They're no TK deck. We'll talk about them off show.
Okay, yes, I'm intrigued.
1 Call by the Grave, 1 Pankratops. Pankratops is the best going second card ever. It's a card. It's Cyber Dragon first of all. So if your opponent calls up and you don't, you can special summon it. And then once it's a quick effect, you can tribute a Dino Wrestler that you control to pop a card. He counts himself.
Oh, so bam.
Yeah, and then the field spell, I think to search him. I think that's what that Dino Wrestler field spell does.
Allow me 1 moment to exile force you.
Yeah. It's also a special summon, and he's like 2,300.
That's a
He has a body.
yeah, that is a framework.
It's also a quick effect too, so if they try to interact with them, you just pop off. Yeah. And then 3 evenly matched.
I like that guy. Seems like a good guy. Is Harpy's Feather Duster legal?
Harpy's
is that
Feather
what I'm seeing
Duster
right
is
now?
at 1 currently.
What a time to be alive.
So it's really funny. People going into this format, people thought that all back row decks were dead, right? They thought between Cosmic Cyclone being a 3, Harpy's Feather Duster being out, no one would be playing back row at all. Funny thing about this event,
Tell me there's a deck with Starlight Road in it.
we have several decks that play about 12 trap cards. Not just like the gold lane trap cards either. actual trap cards. We have multiple decks in this top 16. This is the fantastic time to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh, guys.
He's winning me over. It was very hard for me to walk away from
The format is so wide open now. If once you get past all the degenerate combo decks, which the list solved for the most part, the format is so good right now. Like, you can play basically anything so long as you can answer a board, right? Like, your big drawback, the only pillar of the format that you have to make sure your deck beats is True King of All Calamities. And if you can make your deck beat True King of All Calamities, the format's yours.
What is that card and what does it do?
It's the Walking Skill Drain. It's the 20. It's a rank 9, and once per turn, quick effect. You can detach material from this card to call an attribute. Then all monsters your opponent controls become that attribute and negate their effects.
Okay, so you can still die to targeted removal.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. There might be more to True King, but off the dome, that's all the important stuff.
Okay. Too long didn't read version. There you go.
Exactly. He's also like 2,700, so he's a body.
I mean, that's a ridiculously good card, especially when you're in a format where you just said that like they thought back row was dead.
Yes.
So.
So this is the combo deck of the format. It plays very little trap cards. It's all about acceleration. He's playing triple tactical talents because he wants to resolve card effects. Let's go on ahead, and our second place is a very familiar name, and this is a player I think he has potential to be the GOAT of Yu-Gi-Oh, and that player is Jesse Cotton. Jesse Cotton.
What a name!
Yeah. So he was around during our dominance, like while he was a grinder with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad one of us made it, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
He was a grinder in our class, and this guy has. All right, so Hoban has the most tops of all time because he played in a time of Yu-Gi-Oh where they had events every weekend for very long time.
The good old days.
Unfortunately, Jesse Cotton, his dominance is hitting now, and it's where events aren't every week, and it's during a pandemic. Of course.
Yeah. The pandemic's really like sculpted things.
Whenever
really
everything gets back to new normal, I think Jesse Cotton is going to have the accolades to beat Hope. Like, not only Jesse Cotton through deck design and everything. I'm gushing over this player right now because we'll go listen to Jesse Cotton talk about deck design.
Literally every single time this man calls me on the phone, this is how our conversations go. Every time. It's like, let me gush about this person you don't know.
Don't even get me started. Don't get me started about pros from like 2007 to like 2010. Okay, like that. We could do a whole deep dive series about that. So Jesse Cotton is
the name Thunderpants comes to mind.
Alex Van Sant.
That'll be a story for another time.
Yeah. So Jesse Cotton is playing the Drytrons. It's a ritual-based archetype. So this archetype is a little bit weirder compared to like other ritual-based archetypes before in the past. So it's not like Megalith where you're trying to play out of using your graveyard as a second deck. This is using monsters' attack points is what's tributing.
That's
yeah. So he's using all the Drytrons have effects that net you ritual spells or ritual monsters. And they're all floaters. They all have really cool effects. All the Cyber Angels, Natasha and Benton have effects that like enable you to special summon and continue your plays further. There's a really cool Drytron, the big dragon guy. I forget his name. I think it's Metamorphosis Dragon. He's a game ender.
That is a dope name.
Yeah, it's also the card art. I really wish we had a better image on screen. Because this card, we'll talk about whenever we get the Genesis Impact cards.
It is 2020. Fix your resolutions, people.
So it does the standard Cyber Angel play of making a big board and then ending on a. Do you remember this card? Vanity's Ruler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a 2 tribute monster that can't be special summoned, and your opponent can't special summon. 2,700 attack, I think. So it's an end board that ends on. One Cyber Angel, a Vandy's Ruler, and then 2 Herald of Orange Lights.
I remember that card.
Yeah, it's 2 Herald of Orange Lights and the cards to pitch for.
And Manju, the 10,000 Fist.
Yeah, I mean, that's a normal summon that gets you whatever you need in the deck.
Let me knit all my things.
Yeah, and because it plays Herald of Orange Light, which is a searchable hand trap, at the end of their play lines, they're putting up such a big defensive board that most decks, if you're playing a combo deck, you can't play through. Because the people playing the Drytron deck are people that know the format inside down. Right.
Well, generally, also when you're playing combo, you're like target, kill individuals, and then just do a big push with whatever. So when you got something going wide, it's really hard to keep up with, at least from back in the day.
It's very cool. I like this deck, but it's also the type of deck that, unless you have the play testing in it, I wouldn't pick it up. This deck, especially game one, where you're relying so much on just setting up a Vandy's Ruler that if people are just start main decking Dark Ruler no more anymore, it's just really hard. But that's where Herald. I mean, you can't interact with Dark Ruler no more. But of course, it's pigeonholed, not corner case scenarios. Deck is cool.
Fringe moments.
Learn to play, because this is a deck that if you negate the wrong thing, you will lose. That's it.
I do enjoy decks that are like that, though, where it's like,
where
I know a little bit more than you, therefore.
Constantly playing on like the Razor's Edge. Like, I love that too. So cool. That's why I'm playing Goki Combo right now. That deck is all just about like skating across the
I do miss the days of having time to like actually grind binders and go and just spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks playtesting and then go into a big event and then being utterly disappointed at our abject failure immediately and then just going home sad. I miss those times.
Yeah, I do too. But hey, we'll get back to it. We'll do something. So
disappointment will reign once more.
Let's talk about Jesse's sideboard, because sideboarding is where all your wins come from.
Yep.
And Jesse Cotton, I think he's always a firm believer of you don't main deck stuff that's unnecessary in certain decks, right?
Which largely you have to be in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, like he doesn't main deck any unnecessary hand traps. Like if you look at his list is just made to do its thing over and over again, consistently.
It's a lot of numbers that suggest I want to see this. I want to see this when I use it. I want to see this when I use it.
Like we got three of like the only hand traps he plays are the Herald of Orange and Purple Light, which are all searchable, and then Artifact Lancia, which is a fairy, so it's also searchable. So all of his hand traps he can just search out at the end of his combo. Nice. Super cool.
So here's my setup, here's my protection.
Go. Exactly. And if we look at his board, it's 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Droll. Ash Blossom, the Joyous Spring, I think is the most played card in this deck, in the entire tournament. Because every deck was playing some form of Ash, but 2. And the 2 lists that weren't playing it are carbon copies of each other.
Now, I've been out for a while, and I know how Konami functioned then in regards to changing formats with the ban lists and stuff. Now, when they see a format where it's like, oh, all these tournaments back to back, 3 of this card, 3 of this card, 3 of this card, are they still hot to trigger to be like, we're going to limit that or semi-limit that to try to shake things up, or do they just leave it well enough alone?
Well, Konami, during the pandemic, it's also Konami, so they only look at their tournament results regardless.
Fair enough.
So it's just a Konami thing. They don't really look at anything. But whenever PPG banned Block Dragon during their tournament series at the start of quarantine, Konami ended up banning Block Dragon on their list. So they're taking they're listening, right? Like it's not of Konami of the olden days where they didn't care about us.
Right. We're gonna take this common from OCG and bring it to the TCG as a secret rare short print.
Oh no, that happens. That happens with a lot. That still happens. Oh, don't worry. Konami still milks us, but it's more of an understanding. It's like, hey, we're putting all these purple cards as a secret rare, but we're no longer short printing secret rares.
At least they've got to a give and take point instead of just we're gonna do this and peace if you don't like it.
It's basically that.
It is nice to hear though that they're like, well, we don't have many tournaments going on right now, so we actually do need broader information. So
so let's continue talking about his side deck. 3 Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring. This card is if your opponent's trying to do anything like search their deck, special them from their deck, mill from their deck, you discard this card and negate that card. Droll and Lockbird, you know what that card does. Whenever your opponent tries to add another card or draw another card, you discard it. They can't draw anymore. Nibiru, you know what Nibiru does?
That was around when I was playing.
All right. So if your opponent special summons 5 or more monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand by tributing monsters on their side of the field. And you give them a token whose attack and defense are each equal to the attack and defense of the tributed monsters.
So they have to have 5 on the board that have been special summoned? Or
no.
Once they have special
summoned 5 times.
Okay, so there's just like a counter tick down for it. Okay.
So it's to help stop the massive combo decks.
I bet they wouldn't see that coming either in games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, this guy.
Especially like where you are playing the control deck. And this is a new deck too. Like he has the unknown deck advantage going into this event too.
I would love to have seen that final round.
Oh yeah, the virtual world versus
that would have been really fun.
Yeah. Oh, and the finish up is sideboard, 2 cosmic cyclones, 3 twin twisters, and a red reboot. I don't like talking about extra decks because they're all the same.
Yeah, it's just the cards you would run if you could go into these.
Yeah, if I see anything weird, I'll pull them up. But for the most part, all Yu-Gi-Oh players play about the same extra deck stuff. Like if we look at it, it's a bunch of nightmares and a bunch of link ones. There's a union carrier to search out something. Not familiar deck, so if I'm missing any pieces, please just be aware. I am not an expert on Drytrons.
He got that Thursday brain.
Yeah, I got that Thursday. It's Thursday, my dudes. Control decks get boring to play against. Oh, I agree, Mouse. Control decks do get boring because it's, especially now, it's all negate and whatever. So this is Paulo Gongclaves. So this is also
initial impressions. I see 3 cards that make me very, very happy.
Okay, so this is the deck list I'm on. It's Zodiac Eldlick, but he's also playing the Dogmatica engine too. The Dogmatica engine's really expensive right now, so if you don't have the budget for it, I wouldn't worry about it. But the Zodiac Eldlick engine is really good. It's a hard control deck that's it's hard to explain. It's a hard control deck that it's old school Magic control. It is 1/1 removal. It is normal. It is you normal summon and you make a threat, and then you just protect the threat through hand traps, through minor interaction, through your trap cards, through interactions with your Golden Lord itself.
So it's like roughly a Voltron strategy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I would talk.
I've got my flagship and I'm going to protect it.
I would say it's more like, because you didn't play during Zoo format. No. It's more like Fire Fist control, Fire Fist stuff, right? Where that deck is all about protecting the bear, or it was about protecting the brother of Fire Fist bear.
Don't touch my bear. That's my bear.
And this is we use cards like Eldlick the Golden Lord.
I love so much that so I've been out for a very long time, like 6-7 years or so. And, obviously Fish keeps me clued in, but
I do my best.
I like so much that I'm coming in and I'm seeing these cards that I'm like, I have had those in bulk for so long and just picked over them, or even have them picked in boxes right now. And I'm just thrilled to come through and be like, that's seeing play. Yeah. That's being used. Dude, I love that about you.
Like I said, this format is absolutely amazing. Literally, if we didn't have to worry about, a virus going around, I would be out playing it every week.
Thanks, COVID.
We have a huge local scene around here. We have multiple shops that they go and play at. We just can't do it right now. It's just frustrating. So this is Zoo Eldlick. It's with the Dogmatic engine, the float, and press advantage and stuff. Super cool. So all the Eldling cards search out the Eldlick the Golden Lord. Eldlick the Golden Lord says you can discard him and one other card in your hand to destroy 1 card in the field. Also destroy 1 face-up spell or trap card you control to add this card to your hand. And then you can special summon a zombie monster. He's a level 10 zombie from your hand, and it gains 1,000 attack. And nice. I think it can't be destroyed by card effects that turn. And it's 2,600.
That's handy.
Yeah, and all the gold lane cards. So we have Curse Eldlin, which is its searcher. You pay 800 life points to search your deck for an Eldlick, the Golden Lord. And then whenever this card is destroyed, you get to special summon one. Scarlet Sanguine is a trap card that says, whenever you activate this card, special summon an Eldlick from your graveyard or deck. Also, while it's in the graveyard during your end phase, you can banish it and set a other gold land card from your deck. So for his gold land targets, he is playing 3 Conquistador, which is spell and trap card removal if you control an Eldlick, which he will because he's the key part of the deck. He's only playing 1 because he's playing the Dogmatic Engine. I play 2 in my normal zoo list. And he's playing 2 Hakiro, and Hakiro is it's a DD Crow. And all these and all the Golden Lane trap cards turn into monsters too.
Oh, that's neat.
Yes. Yeah. Super cool. It's playing 1, 2, 3, 4. It is playing 12 pieces of interaction on the opponent's turn in the form of hand traps. It's playing 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ghost Spell, which is basically DD Crow, but it negates a graveyard effect too. And then Skullmeister, which also negates graveyard effects.
I remember Skullmaster.
Then for its Zoo Engine, it's playing 1 Barrage, which is you destroy 1 card you control to special summon a Zoo from deck. 3 Tinky, you know what Tinky
No,
does.
Tinky.
And then this is weird. He's playing 2 Bunny Blast, 1 Ram, and 1 Thoroughblade. So the 2 zoos, Bunny Blast makes his zoo XYZs. So the gimmick with the zoo archetype is you can overlay only using 1 zoo monster.
Okay.
But all the zoo XYZs keep the attack stat of whatever monster is on the bottom.
Ah, okay.
So
it becomes like roughly mutate from
exactly. Yeah, okay. So Bunny Blast makes his Zodiac XYZs immune to spell cards, and Rim makes it immune to to trap cards. Whiptail gains it. You can attach it from your hand and have that card gain 1200. Also, whenever it battles a card, you can detach this card and have it remove it from play.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Thoroughblade, which is on normal summon, you can discard a Zodiac card and draw a card. I think this is the worst one. But all the zoos have one very important thing. They have Zodiac in the name. So, this is the one time I'm going to talk about Exodac because it actually matters. Alright, so we go into our zoo package in the extra deck. We have 1 Dryden. So Dryden is once per turn, quick effect, discard, detach material from this card to destroy 1 card in the field. Tiger Border. Again, all the zoos have 1 key effect. If you can put this over top of once per turn, you can put this over top of a zoo card.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Dryden. We have 2 Tiger Mortars. Tiger Mortar is detach material from this card to target a zoo card in your graveyard and attach it to it. We have 2 Chocronines, which is detach material and target a zoo card and special summon it. Its effects are negated. And Boardbow. Boardbow says this card can attack directly. That's what he does. He attacks directly.
That's what he do. He come in and go, "Not forget you, poke you."
Yeah, exactly. He comes in and he goes, pew! And then...
I liked your animation better than mine.
An honorary Zodiac monster, Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. So, this card is like a rank 12. It requires 3 rank 12. So how do you make this card, you ask, in a deck that plays the highest as a level 2?
Yeah, as a big boy.
So, you can cheat AA Divine Arsenal Zeus out by XYZing over an XYZ monster that has attack that turn. Once per turn, during either player's turn, detach 2 materials from this card to destroy every other card on the field. So
what's his
4,000 attack, 4,000 defense.
Okay.
So he's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
All the zoo cards just stack on top of each other. Essentially, while you're playing, you're just building a tower.
Well,
there's multiple board states that you can get with AA Zeus, in which he has 2 destructions. So he has 4 materials.
That's insane.
So you're packing all this up. You're packing a massive board wipe, and with all the just generic interruption Eldlick has, And so the whole point of this deck is they let you make a board because they interact with you with hand traps throughout your turn, right? And then the moment it starts their turn, they answer your entire board. And then they put up a Divine Arsenal Zeus that prevents you from making a board again.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't get to play cards now. You go somewhere.
Yeah, of course, like there's multiple ways of like outing Zeus. Book of Moon being a big card that sees play.
Nah, yes, I love that card. It's one of my favorite
Book of Moon's
cards.
at 3 now.
Really?
Yes.
One time. You got Harvey's Feather Duster. You got Dark Hole, right? That's around.
Yeah.
There's a Monster Reborn back now.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff. All right, we got. Oh my God, we're eating up so much time. Oh God. All right, so Sideboard, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, 3 Drolls. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Ooh, we have Daniel Hofferman also playing Virtual World. He's playing a little bit of a different list compared to. Actually, no, hold on. I think they're card for card. Oh, no, he's playing. No, it's card for card. Card for card with first place. Next giveaway in 15 minutes, guys. So, Virtual World, pretty much all Virtual World lists are pretty much stock. It's the same, like, 25 card engine.
Okay.
And then Altergeist, which is a stun deck. All the Altergeists, they're all floaters. They all search for themselves. Or they search for an Altergeist trap card that searches for an Altergeist card.
Makes sense.
So this is the playing actual trap cards. Playing 3 Solemns, 3 Strikes. All the personal spoofings. It's playing 3 Punishment because it's playing Dogmatica. Again, you don't have to play the Dogmatica engine in everything. It's just a really cool way of grinding out advantage. Cool, and yeah, I think there is one. Mouse. I don't know, like when we're doing it, but I'm sure Producer Man will be in the chat telling you. We have another Virtual World. So our top breakdown, I think it's 6 and 6 Virtual World and Eldlik. Nice. There's multiple other Eldlik lists. There's 2. This is the one I was talking about, the crazy one. This is 60 card Trap Trick Eldlik. This
you had me a 60 card. Go on.
Yeah, it's also playing Shadalls too.
I love everything about what you're saying to me right now.
All right, so this is a hardcore control deck. It's plenty of ways of just interact with your opponent through trap cards. It's all right. So Trap Trick is a normal trap card that says you can banish a copy. You can banish a normal trap card from your deck to set a copy of it.
Okay.
To set a copy of that trap card, and you can activate it that turn. But whenever you activate it, it's exiled.
Nice. Totally fine.
So it turns on Convulses at 3, Tarantulas at 3. Dimensional Barrier is like one of the best cards in the format right now because you can call Ritual Summons, which Drytron is a ritual deck, so you get to call that whenever they play a spell. And you just blow them out.
This guy took the statement, "You've activated my trap card," and just made an entire deck about it.
There's 2 lists, card for card, exactly like this. This deck has legs, guys, so if you guys want to play something cool, in the next little bit, or at least play it on Dueling Book. Yeah, I recommend this.
Just Sideboard Genzo. This deck crumples.
Look at his sideboard. 3-dimensional Barrier, 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Heavy Storm Duster, 3 Anti-Spell, an Imperial Order, and a Shaldal Dragon, and another a Dogmatica card.
This guy, when it came to making his sideboard, literally just said, "I want to say no as often as possible."
To be fair, I would have put the Solemn Judgments in the main, and that would have been my only change. I would have probably moved the Paleozoic, the weird one, the one that looks all spidery. I probably would have removed this and put this in.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between top 8 and top 4, buddy.
We have Joseph Chang playing Virtual World again. Super cool. Again, I'm trying to give everyone shout outs. This is a deck that's all me. Demeter Petroval. So this is a Eldlik deck whose only win con is through Eldlik the Golden Lord and Red Eyes Dragoon. I told you what Red Eyes Dragoon does, right?
Yeah, you have. I just want to let it be known. We had a 30-minute long conversation as to why he was excited to have got a certain rarity of Dark Magician because of this deck.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see it in person.
Yeah, the Maximum Gold Dark Magician. I love that. The Red Eyes and Dark Magician for my Dragoons package are both maximum gold, so they look nice.
I've stopped opening links he sends me.
He really, yeah. There's some cool ones. You should have opened Bongo Cat.
No.
This is the same list that we saw, but he's playing the Dogmatica engine over. No, he's still playing Trap Tricks. Yeah. Nothing to say. The format's wide open, guys. You can play pretty much whatever you want to.
At one point, I came back to observe Yu-Gi-Oh! After my really long absence. I've like just not even paying attention to it, and I came in at the break my board.
Yes.
That's when I came in and I went to LGS and I was like, "What am I seeing?"
Yeah. So the
I don't like
format's
this.
still a little like that. It's very much combo decks do the combo thing and try to build up a board, but whenever you out their board, you get to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
I just didn't like going to a card shop and seeing people like open their hand and go, "Do you have it?" Nope. Next game. Like that's just not.
Yeah, there's a lot more options out right now because all the hand traps are very versatile, so they can hit multiple threats. So it's no longer like, oh, well, you didn't open up the Ash Blossom, time to mill half my deck with grass is greener, right? Like, you don't have any of those. Now it's more like, okay, well, I didn't open up the hand trap to stop the combo, but I'm playing plenty of cards that break up board. Okay. So I can actually play whenever it comes to my turn.
The problem adjusted itself,
yes.
is what you're saying.
Instead of being belligerent and just not have... You have to take into consideration that your deck is going to go second sometimes if you're playing a go first deck. Like, you have to take in that into consideration because every deck wants to go first now.
Makes sense.
Except for Dinosaur. Dinosaur always wants to go second because they want to attack you first.
Dino don't care.
Yeah, Dino don't care.
Dino says whatever.
That's the only one that I would argue is the only one that wants to do that. But every deck in the format can play in multiple different ways, except for Drytron. Drytron just wants to go first too.
So I've just pictured the Sherlock Holmes meme where he's like doing all the calculations and all that and running down and everything, and then it just cuts over to the T-Rex just yelling from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. All
Thought
right.
process.
All right. So before we move into our sideboard guide for how the 2020. Because we got the last 30 minutes. I want to talk about Genesis Impact as a set. We talked about the Drytron archetype that came out that is doing pretty well. Like there was 2 copies in top 16, and that's only going to increase. Because Majesty's Ruler is such an absurd card.
I like his brother Majesty's Fiend.
Majesty's Fiend. Yeah, I like him a lot too. So this set comes out this Friday. We have pre-orders up on Charlton.com. Make sure to check them out. But there's another archetype in this set that I like a lot, and it's not Drytron. It's the Evil Twin and Live Twin archetype. So these are based off VTubers. You know, a VTuber, virtual YouTuber.
Yeah.
So they're based off of them, and they are 1-card engines. So, both of the little ones, the Live Twins, are tour guides for each other.
I absolutely love that art.
Yeah.
It just brings me joy.
We have blue, and then we have pink. We have Live Twin Kiss, and then Live Twin Law. I call them pink and blue.
So go over to Trolltone and check out these arts because they are just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So cute. Never care for the TCG, but there are some cards with great artwork. No, I agree, Mouse.
I have one tattooed on my body.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You have one of the Fabled ones.
Fabled Crust is on my forearm.
Yeah. I just want to talk a little bit about the Live and Evil Twins. So the Live Twins are tour guides for the other Live Twins. So pink always fetches out blue, blue always fetches out pink.
Gadgets.
Yeah, exactly. And so then they have link versions that are basically the same thing. Okay. Pink will special summon a blue from the graveyard, and blue will special summon a pink from the graveyard.
Nice.
They lock you into only fiend summons, so you can't fully combo people.
As you were well aware, my first deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, before my extensive training, was definitely fiends.
Yeah, Lajin, Opticops beat down.
All the Dark Necrofiers.
Yeah. They all Kiss a Kill has a pop effect whenever a blue is on the board already, and then blue has a draw effect whenever pink's on the board already. So it's super cool. They're 1100. They have a bunch of normal spells that all search for the life twins.
I like that interaction where it's like, as long as this exists, and like they just play off each other. It's like, I can get this because I have this.
Yeah, I really like this archetype. I like this archetype a lot because I think the best way to play this archetype is with Eldlick. The trap deck I was talking about?
Yes.
Because Evil Twins have this problem of not being able to out a big board. And that's what Eldlick does great. And it's also, they lock you in the Fiend summons, but Eldlick, you only want the special summon once of the Eldlick board, right? So you just need to hit the Lord, get him on the board ASAP. And then you can use the Evil and Life Twins as floaters. Awesome. And you just grind your opponent out. Because every single turn they try to do anything, you just Eldlick, discard a card, blow up your card, normal summon, fetch out, link. Suddenly I have 2 link monsters. I've drew a card. I popped a card. I'm just burying you under card advantage.
So just all the value while interacting with you.
Trying to figure out how to win though. That's what I'm still trying to figure out. But
win
we'll get
cons
there.
Are important.
We will get there at some point. All right.
Just throw in some zoos. You'll be fine. That's what I've learned about Yu-Gi-Oh.
We already got some normal summons.
Just throw in some zoos.
We already have so many normal summons. They also have a main deck boss monster in the evil twin version. This is basically just a mini dark.
I greatly enjoy this evil twin dynamic so much.
It's also pretty budget, like $15-$12. Like you only need 2 of each of the link, and then the main deck monsters are like what? $1 a piece.
Yeah, that's not an expensive core at all.
Yeah, and then all the spell cards are super cheap too.
That's not an expensive core at all.
Yeah. All right. Can we go big mode? Can we go full screen?
Go big mode.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wind everything down with our sideboard guide. So this is just a couple of things that we really enjoyed during 2020. This is stuff that has helped us get through this terrible, awful, no good, very bad year.
And it has been just across the board terrifically awful.
Yep.
For everyone.
Yep. It has been it's been terrible. But we've had some standout moments.
There's been good things.
There's been a bunch of good stuff.
When you find yourself basically having no option but just sit at home most of your time, you find ways to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. You find stuff. You find stuff that, or you rediscover something like how I have.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. While I was in quarantine, thanks to COVID in 2020, I got married to my longtime girlfriend after 10 years. And
Keyword is 2020 sucks. By the way.
Yes, giveaway.
2020 sucks.
2020 sucks. I got married to my girlfriend of 10 years. Fiance for 4. And mother of my 2 children. After I was like, well, we got time now. Let's do it.
I mean, we might as well, right?
Yes. The world may end. I'll prove my affection and love.
Hey, we gotta beat this buzzer, okay? Hey, we gotta beat this buzzer. I don't want to die not having this ring on.
Yes. Which I do right there. That's it.
Oh, look at you guys having emotions. Oh, I've forsaken those a long time ago for profit.
I thought I had.
Okay. Well, I mean, you want to talk about family. Okay. Well, I want to talk about my family.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to talk about my family. 2020 has been an absolute dumpster fire of a year for yours truly. October, I had one of the biggest mental breakdowns I've ever had in my life. But I'm here. We're here. We're going. We're pushing along. We are on the hype train. I'm conductor. We are just going full steam ahead, guys.
Hey, that's the thing to remember at this point. Like, we've made it this far. Like, the worst is in the rear view, right? Right. Right.
So, what I would have made it through this year if it wouldn't have been for my son. Not a day goes by that I don't just break down and just say how much I love him. from his like beautiful brown eyes, from just the way like he looks at me whenever I come home, like there's just nothing like it.
He truly is a cutie.
Yeah, he truly is. And just, man, I wouldn't know where I would be if I would have had to sleep alone this entire year. Just having someone there for you is just the absolute best. I absolutely love him, from his big brown eyes, from his little stumpy legs to his tiny tail that is just a little bit of hair that just pokes out, so it gives him a little bit of character. I'm talking about my son, Lancey the Loaf Lad, aka Lancelot, aka Lancey, my dog. He's a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Absolutely love him. I adopted him 2 years ago. It was supposed to just be a foster situation, but his owners never contacted me again.
I've never been happier either. This man has spoken specifically, not just wanting dogs, but specifically about wanting a corgi since probably my junior year of high school.
Yeah, so. I think I was around like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
So after a decade of just pining after this creature, he finally got one. So congratulations. So I see your family and your children, and I raise you my children. This year, one good thing that came out of quarantine, was stuck at home, couldn't really go anywhere. Schools obviously were closed, so I got to spend a significant amount of time with my kids. And normally it was like they were at school, I was at work, we'd come home, we had the few hours, and it was bed. Routine. Do some stuff on weekends, but normally it's like going to see others, and we lost that. All that was gone. So we were waking up and together and going to sleep together, having breakfast, lunch, dinner together. So I really got to like, obviously I had to like step up as a teacher, because that's because that's what schools are doing this year. So I got to teach my children. I learned how they learn. I got to show them video games and the way I play.
Oh yeah, they've been really into Cuphead, right?
Yeah, like my son is super into Cuphead. He's super into Looney Tunes app. Like he's beaten nearly every Five Nights at Freddy's game. It's insane.
Wants to play Yugioh too.
He wants to play Yu-Gi-Oh. He loves Yu-Gi-Oh. He loves Pokemon. You know, I gotta sit down with him and my daughter. Like she's into like. She likes true crime. I came in the other day. She was on her tablet, man. She was watching Inside Edition. I was like, you are 5 years old. Why are you watching this? But, like, I know that. I know that my daughter likes Inside Edition. Like,
You have to watch that. You have to watch that one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was like, I'm going to start looking at your YouTube history a little bit closer. But
it's like, oh, no.
But, like, I just got to, like, learn from, like, what my kids want and what they like. So that was very nice just to get that, because normally you wouldn't have that kind of time.
That's so sweet. And yes, Stillborn, you are definitely right. Corgi's our best boy. My son is better than his son. All right, I agree. Chad agrees with me.
I have two pupper doggers, two female pupper doggers, sir. And they are pit bull Boston Terrier mixes, which do not look as disturbing. They are Biscuit and Gravy. Shout out to Biscuit and Gravy, who are at home, no doubt, destroying my garbage can at this time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Chunk boys.
Yeah, big chunky boys. They're cute, though. I like your little puppies.
They're adorable.
Yeah. Are we doing the giveaway, producer man? Chunky boys. All right. We got 4 more minutes?
4 more minutes to give away.
350. All right. Well, you talked about, you know what? We've had enough talk about enough organic relationships, all right? Enough of your meat-spaced relationships, all right? I'm going to talk about the deepest relationship a man can have with a video game, all right? So I talked a little bit about this last week, but one of the things that helped me get through 2020 was Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I've already talked about it last week. 200 hours on every platform it's on except for Steam, which I recently just got on my birthday, by the way.
There's a solid 6 months you just couldn't even talk to him.
Yep. So if you guys are like me and you're upset with Sword and Shield, not because it's a bad game, but because you feel like the series is not stagnating is the bad term, but staying the same while you're like moving on, and like you want like an actual story from your Pokemon games, like you want character growth and you want to see what happens to them, right? But
underserved in a genre.
Yeah, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is the answer for that. It is Pokemon, but with an actual story. And it's for all you people who are like too afraid to like fully get your feet wet with Persona 5, because Persona 5 is a very intimidating monster.
That's why I have not played it yet.
Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is the complete edition. Get that because you get 2 games and they share a Digidex between them. It's perfect. Like, you could spend hours just exploring the Digivolution tree and just... so Digivolutions work really cool in this game because you can always go back and forward at the same time.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you can de-Digivolve, then Digivolve into a different line, and then you get to mix and match. Digimon learn different spells or attacks.
I just picture a card that takes a wrong turn. It's like, oh no, okay, yeah.
That happens multiple times, yes. Especially
play your outs.
It's super cool. There's a few downsides to it, of course. These games were made for a Vita, so they are not the pinnacle of graphics. In fact, it looks like a visual novel most of the time.
They lack the crispy.
Yeah, there's no like full motion cutscenes in it that involve like full dialogue and stuff. Pokemon Sword and Shield has a better presentation for a lot of that. You can see where all the budget goes into Digimon Story, like in the story mode of the game. I'm not speaking about competitive multiplayer stuff because I never played Pokemon for that. I played it for the main storyline. And I can't recommend Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth enough, especially if you're a Pokemon fanatic. That Sword and Shield didn't quite scratch that itch that you were hoping for it to scratch.
He's talked about it so much that I'm almost convinced to play it, and I'm not even a Digimon guy.
So, I think you would like it, and I know your kids would love it just because you get to see the Digivolution tree, and you get to hang out with your Digimon on the farm. Like, because you put them in the farm, which is the box. But they gain levels, and you can Digivolve them from the box.
Oh, that's cool.
And the experience points that they gain on the farm is equal to the amount of experience you gain through battle. So, like, they're all about the same. Of course, there's certain items that you can put on your farm to increase experience and increase certain stat increases. So you're always trying to train up a team to, like, be team ready.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so you get a lot of super cool stuff. Oh, yeah, congrats to CA Mouse. This is, like, what, his 3rd win? Woo! Go Mouse!
Congratulations.
Leaning it up. That
golf claps. Golf claps in chat.
Yes.
Golf claps.
Yes, golf claps. Yeah. Man, I can't. Definitely check it out. It's also holiday season. This game regularly goes on sale. It's $40 normally. You can find it for $20 or less. I picked up my copy on the Switch for $14.99. And you get 2 games, and I played through both, and both games are 80 hours plus of time. Like, it's also a JRPG, so you can put as much time as you want to in there.
That's the fun thing about. That's one thing I like about JRPGs. It's like I can just keep playing. I can just keep going.
It gets a little grindy, but there's several workarounds in the game itself to not make it quite as grindy. But if you have workarounds for grind in your game, then you have a lot of grind in your game. But if you're okay with it, then 10 out of 10, Fishman recommends. All right.
Oh, and a minor update to last week's show. We discussed Digimon, and I ran it by my wife, and now she's interested in playing, very much so. But she has said she would only play it with me if I watch Digimon. So
Digimon Story, try.
I talked her down to 1 episode and see how it goes. But,
okay.
So if I want to actually play the Digimon card game, I have to actually watch the show.
Well, does it matter what season?
She just said you have to watch Digimon.
All right. Well,
at least an episode.
Digimon Try is full-on movies that wraps up the first season.
That may be too much.
No, they're good.
Okay, good.
They are good.
All right, I will contact you for reference when I need to find it.
Yep. And last evolution made me cry. All right. Hit me with something. My turn. Yeah, hit me with something. With you and your meat space stuff.
Going back to having more time, just having more time. That's basically all this year gave us was time for the first time.
Watch the bad
time. Hashtag time.
Hey, Oh God, what's the theme song? Oh my God. As we look towards our past, as we move to our future to reclaim the digital world, I am the one pa. I am the one pa.
So listen,
Digimon.
my Discord server full of friends, just constantly on this, always. This guy does this all the time. But the big thing was having more time. I got to be more creative.
Coming out March 2021. Look out for it. It's called Fish Out of Water.
I don't know, man.
March
March 2020 got bad juju. I wouldn't go with March.
Finn.
Oh, Finn.
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 You know what? Finn that dirt off your shoulder.
Finn. Okay. So.
All right.
But because there's more time this year, I got to be more creative. I started my Twitch channel. I started branching out into other social medias and stuff. I started making memes a lot because there was nothing else to do but memes. I started. I used to draw a lot. No artist, but I was fairly decent hand at it. I started practicing that more. Began storyboarding a book I've been wanting to write for a few years. Yeah, we discussed it. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
So I actually started pen to paper. Got my storyboard going on. I'm gonna begin writing on that. I used to creative write all the time in high school and stuff when I was less bogged down with responsibilities.
We have our own project coming up January 2nd.
Yeah, we have a little
hit us up
project
on Twitter to keep up with that.
Yeah. That'll be a good one. But just being more creative in general, and gaming, I really didn't have much time to game, and then COVID happened, and I was like, let's get through this entire back catalog.
You got through a back catalog?
Dude,
oh God! No, I added mine.
It was wake up, food, children to school. We game in my house.
I signed up for a Humble Bundle this year, so my Steam library went from 120 to now it's 240 something.
See, I do not count randomly acquired games like that, where it's I get one game I want and the five that I will play eventually. No, it was I actively got these and haven't played these yet. That's my back catalog, but I got through a decent amount of those.
Okay. We still need to do that co-op playthrough of the Halos. That'd be super sweet.
Oh yeah, that'd be so good. Now that it's finally released on PC Game Pass.
Yep, all of them.
Which Game Pass is amazing.
Oh yeah, you move it into another thing?
I was just remarking about Game Pass.
Well, I mean, it's on your thing. Do you want to talk about your thing?
Well, it's your turn. It's your turn.
Oh well, my thing. All right. So, man, I've consumed a lot of media this year, a lot. I've signed up for HBO Max. That streaming service happened. I thought I had enough stuff that I liked in order for me to sign up on it. If you guys don't feel the same way, then you don't have to sign up for it. But one of the biggest hooks for HBO Max for me was a little series called Close Enough. So Close Enough is from the creators of Regular Show, and oh my God, does it show!
I was on this guy for a week and a half. I was like,
exactly, Paulie.
I was like, just get it. There's a free trial. Just watch it. It's so good. I ended up watching the entire first season in one day.
One day.
The writing is just incredible.
So the show centers on a early family, right? Each character's in their late 20s, early 30s.
It's their early 30s, both of them. Their daughter is a decent age. She's school age. She's 5, 6 years old.
First grade.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an established family.
They are sharing an open floor house with their best friends who are a divorced couple.
Yes, so you got a cohabitating divorced couple. You got established family going through the growing pains of just existing. And it's very down to earth. The jobs make sense. The finance struggles make sense.
There's so many bits that you can just relate to. There's one bit where the dad gets in the car with the friends as they're going to a concert, and then they go through all the hype up for it. They're all just chanting, and they get in the car and they drive out the driveway, and then they stop. And the guy gets out. It's hey, thanks for letting me pretend I have time to go to a concert.
It's so good. So good. Everything about that show is just it's worth the experience.
It feels like regular show that doesn't have to obey Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it feels like a regular show that gets to elaborate more on its characters instead of just being like you're pigeonholed into Blue Jay hold. But they're not really stuck in the rut of like these are the characters, you can only be this dimensional about them. Like you have to walk this line with the writing.
Everything has to be the same by the end of the episode because there's multiple episodes in the first season. That stuff changes forever.
Yeah. Like it retains. Like they reference them later. Like relationships get more like strenuous as it goes, and like there's an episode where they just snap and they bring up a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Like on and off camera. It's like watching a very well written sitcom.
I can't recommend the show enough.
It's so good.
I think it's the best thing on HBO Max right now, and this is coming from a person that absolutely loves True Detective season 1.
Just doing our taxes, sweetie.
Just doing our taxes. Oh God. I'm also going to piggyback onto this. I'm going to double up and
go ahead.
Do another thing. Another thing that I've consumed a lot of is a little unknown YouTube channel called Ordinary Things. So Ordinary Things, he covers the history of ordinary things, like the history of soda, the evil history of Nestle, and he goes into detail about them. And he has a dry satirical wit about him that is executed flawlessly. He co-stars with Internet Historian in his incognito mode. Cool. He's a star of The Gentleman Pirate of the Sundance Rejects that just came out on Internet Historian's channel. By the way, you should check that out. That is the best Pirates movie I've ever seen. And it's all little like stick motion, slide motion stuff. It looks like it's all made through Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, good. That's what I like. Campy and fun.
Should look up the history of Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Oh yeah, I'll know. We know about that. He covers the evil history of cereal. Like he does a lot. You guys should check him out. He's also family friendly. He says some curse words, but it's for the most part he doesn't go out of his way.
Nice.
Yeah. He's very British too, and he makes a lot of British jokes, slamming himself. It's pretty nice.
There's nothing like hearing a British person tell you things. That is like hidden gem of society.
Oh God, can't recommend the guy enough. Check him out. Is the comfiest watching material I've ever watched. The Frosted Flakes. Oh, you know it, Polly. A little special frosting. All right.
Quickly run through.
You got one more thing, right?
Yeah, I got two more things.
Oh yeah, I doubled up.
Yeah. So just run through a little quicker because we're starting to run out of time. We got just being able, like, having more times with friends. Everybody was stuck at home, so we really utilized our Discord server. And Game Pass really let us have, like, a very similar library. And just had a host of games that we could get on and just, like, play and enjoy together.
One of the biggest games is my number one. I'm just gonna piggyback on him too. Is Tabletop Sim.
Yes.
Tabletop Sim. I can't think of a game we played more than Tabletop Sim.
Yeah, we had board games. We had Cards Against Humanity you could play on there. Like any card game, anything that's got like images you can upload, you can play on Tabletop Sim.
So moddable that you can do whatever you want to on there.
You can vape on there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a thing you were able to do.
Yeah, it's new. Vaping, Tabletop Sim.
You can get on your computer, open up Tabletop Simulator, get on a tablet in Tabletop Simulator, and then watch the internet.
Yep. You can. There's a bunch of board games that you can play. I think every board game ever made is somewhere on there because it's so moddable. Everything's just on the Steam Workshop.
Yeah, it's just a JPEG upload away, and it is. Our buddy made a fully detailed D&D campaign, like
we need to get back on, by the way.
Yes, we really do. I miss it so much. Shout out to Derek. That was such a good campaign and fun.
We love you, buddy.
But detailed maps, sound effects, lighting, like it is like having access to the greatest dungeon master table possible, and he did that for us, and it was insane. And you can, if you see something you like that somebody's created, you can just grab elements of it and use it later. It's cannot stress enough. Tabletop Simulator and getting to just like know that people have time and can make time for friends. Just sit down and play games.
Plus, you can do whatever you want. I have multiple friends that made their own Pokemon cubes, and they just draft that all the time. I'm thinking of making a Yu-Gi-Oh cube.
That's I mean that's how we long distance play Cards Against Humanity, because not everybody owns it, but we have a copy that we could play if we were together. So
you
split the difference.
The game's like $24.99. You can get it on sale for like $20 all the times. I think it was on the Black Friday for like $4.99 on Steam's Black Friday.
Yeah, it's always on sale and very worth it. Normally it's only what $15, $10 something like that.
Yeah, it's around $15 to like $20.
I caught it on sale for $10 and I've never been disappointed.
Yeah, I think the GOG copy or whatever, the other tabletop sim, Tabletop Insider or whatever, that one is like $25, but they're both the same thing. Just one's Tabletop Sim is the one that we recommend because we have the most experience on it.
And just to get through the last item on the list, I got into I've always liked having pets, like a lot of pets, but having like big mammals and stuff, not really my thing. But herpetology, I really gotten into snakes and lizards.
Oh, yes. I was about to ask a question. I'm glad I didn't.
Glad you caught yourself. But
me too.
Yeah, me and my wife have been looking into getting into breeding ball pythons and lizards and stuff.
1 second. And yeah, Mouse, you could definitely do that through Tabletop Sim.
Nah, yeah, it's very, very end user friendly.
I mean, that's how we play. That's how we play that.
But I've been taking the time to research that. So
love you, Lizard 2K. God, you're the best.
Hi, Liz.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Aria is doing well.
Yeah, all right. So what kind of snakes do you have? What kind of snakes?
Currently,
you have a hognose. Do you have the diamond belted rattler snake from Indonesia? Like,
we have so the morphs to ball pythons that can be hidden morphs. So the one that we got off Liz, who's in chat right now, is normal, but she could have hidden.
Is that like animorphs? Are they going to transform into people?
Man, that would be so awesome. But she could have hidden genetics we don't know about. But for all means and purposes, she's a normal. And then we have a pastel, and then we have a 66% het pied orange dream named Nigel.
Is that like dreamsicle?
It's kind of, yeah. It's like the whiting has like orange fringe around it.
I want an orange crush now. I don't know why.
And we'll be getting a hognose and a tegu, black and white tegu. And
Tengu? Reborn Tengu?
Yeah, reborn Tengu. He's just gonna every time he dies, you just get another one. Just synchro for days.
And we synchro.
and we synchro. But yeah, just getting into having time to follow a passion project like that. Really, really has been good about 2020. Just having time to just find yourself. You know, like I didn't know how it was after years of the rat race, and then I was like presented with 12 months of. Here you are. So. Yeah,
don't trust me. Whenever you've just been running for so long and now, oh man, the road just ends in front of you. Like, oh boy, it takes a lot to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, even just having a month, like it takes you about a month to like adjust into like changing yourself and identifying that. So, I really like the European thing of like, I mean, you get 2-3 months of vacation a year. Like that's really, really helpful for personal growth.
Yeah. All right. Oof, oh my God. Oh, we ate up a little bit of time. We're about 5 minutes over. I don't think that we can get to table tales today, but we can always save that for next week.
So that means you have to go even longer without hearing about the GP with the heart attack ending. So sorry for that.
The Fishman origin story too.
I'm just gonna keep baiting the carrot on the stick. Like, yes, come back.
Yeah.
Hear of it.
We have so many table tales, guys. It's gonna be great. Yeah, so we're just going to wrap this up. I'm just going to bring up our deal of the day again. You want to take your DBS stack to the next level. Do you want your win percentage to be over 9,000? Do you want... why are we big mode now? Why are we not big mode? I don't have the link up. It wouldn't let me open it. All right, go big mode and I'll show off the link. Go big mode.
This is now the hand sign for big mode. Big mode.
Big mode.
Check it out.
Boom. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can go back to not big mode. Yeah. You wanna take your deck building skills to the next level? You want to ascend to the next level of Super Saiyan? You want your win percentage to be over 9,000? Then check out our Dragon Ball Super Blue White Series 1 Rise of the Union Warrior Premium Pack 1. Alright, each premium pack features 4 packs of the Rise of the Union Warriors, along with 2 limited edition promos. Alright, the previously $11.95, currently $9.95.
Oh, deal.
I mean, hey, if I could, $9.95, that is nothing in order to get my.
That's
1%.
not even $10. That's $9.95.
Yeah, that is nothing to go beyond what my deck currently is, to ascend to a higher level, guys. All right, make sure to check out our Facebook giveaway today. We'll be giving away, what is it, $50 in web credit? Yeah, all right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
what
a
would you
good
spend
deal.
with $50 web credit?
$50 web credit, I would probably look into some of the pre-orders for that new Yu-Gi-Oh set. They're pretty good. Not gonna lie, that bubblegum art style really like me.
I just love the Live and Evil Twins.
I don't play, but I will still collect things just based on how neat they
you
look.
can totally play with that. Like, hey, I'll send you my Evil Twin Live Twin Elblick deck list. All right, I'll send that to you.
I'm gonna have a very pretty deck. I don't know how to play.
Yeah, very pretty deck. I don't know how it wins yet, but we'll figure something out. Yeah, make sure to Dragon of Takir booster box sitting on the shelf. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to be way more specific. I see that every day. There's so many booster boxes. There's a mountain of booster boxes back there.
I climbed it once. It's very cold at the top.
Yeah, remember to enter in our Facebook giveaway. You gotta like the comment, you gotta share it, and you gotta comment on it, right? Yeah, we got all the rules are in the link. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the Fishtank.
It's been a blast. It's always fun.
It's always good to have you on here, my dead amigo.
Anytime I get to sit and chat with my buddy, I'm down for that.
Yes. Well, so long as you don't have Warren Clax and Winter War about, I can call you my friend.
Yeah, or that time I was like, oh, he played an extra land, get him, and then they just attacked
End
you
the
and
cast.
let me win.
End it. End it. I'm done.